I never imagined my life could change in an instant. My marriage to Emily had lasted over a decade. We shared a home, raised 2 kids, and built what looked like a picture-perfect life. But lately, subtle signs gnawed at me: late nights, secretive messages, a phone always on silent. I tried to convince myself it was just stress, work, or exhaustion, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. One evening, I decided to come home early from work. I had a feeling I shouldn't ignore. When I entered our house, everything seemed quiet at first. Then I heard noises from our bedroom, soft laughter, whispers, and the unmistakable sound of intimacy. My heart sank. I tiptoed closer, and when I opened the door, I froze. Emily was there, caught in the act with another man. Shock, disbelief, and a surge of fury coursed through me. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. But then a cold, precise clarity took over. I knew I had to act not out of blind rage, but with calculated intention. This wasn't going to be just a confrontation. It would be revenge, complete and unforgettable. I didn't shout. I didn't storm in and cause a scene. Instead, I calmly reached for my phone and began recording everything. Every expression, every panicked glance, every faltering excuse was captured in high definition. I knew this footage would be my weapon, my undeniable proof. The affair partner, caught entirely off guard, froze in terror. He realized immediately that his involvement had consequences he hadn't anticipated. I confronted him first. Calmly, quietly, I made it clear that he would answer for this, both socially and personally. I contacted his family, sending them the footage and explaining the situation. The panic in his voice, the stammering, the desperate attempts at excuses, all of it was mine to witness. He had never expected such swift accountability. Emily tried to speak, to apologize, to explain herself, but the evidence was irrefutable. I had every message, every photo, every secret interaction meticulously documented. Her words had no power. Her betrayal had consequences, and they were about to be delivered. After dealing with the affair partner, I turned my focus to Emily. I collected and organized all evidence of her ongoing deceit. Everything she had done, every lie, every manipulation, it was all documented. I consulted a lawyer and prepared for divorce, ensuring that custody of our children, financial settlements, and legal protections reflected the severity of her betrayal. The next few days were tense. Emily attempted to manipulate, to plead, even to threaten, but I remained calm and resolute. I knew the power lay in the evidence and the strategic steps I had taken. I didn't need to yell or humiliate her verbally. The weight of proof and legal action would do that for me. I filed for divorce with all documentation in hand. The proceedings were straightforward because the evidence left no room for denial or argument. Every attempt by Emily to sway the court fell flat. Her deception had cost her our marriage, our home, and her influence over our lives. The children's well-being was prioritized, and I ensured that their routines and stability remained intact despite the emotional chaos. Finally, I enacted the ultimate form of revenge. I ghosted her completely. No responses to calls, no engagement with messages, no room for manipulation. I moved out with the children, establishing a new, stable environment. Emily had gambled with our trust, our family, and my respect, and she lost completely. The silence, the absence, was my final act of reclaiming control. In the weeks that followed, I focused entirely on rebuilding. Stability, routine, and emotional support for the children became my priority. Friends and family who knew the truth offered unwavering support. Emily's actions had social consequences as well. Word of her betrayal spread, impacting her relationships and reputation. Looking back, I realized that true revenge is not about impulsive anger or public dramatics. It is about strategy, timing, and precision. By catching her in the act, documenting everything, exposing the affair partner, filing for divorce, and ghosting her completely, I ensured the consequences were swift, undeniable, and permanent. Emily underestimated me. She thought she could betray me and continue her life without repercussion. She was wrong. The affair and the meticulous response that followed reshaped the rest of our lives. I didn't just survive betrayal. I reclaimed control, dignity, and the ability to rebuild a future free from deception. In the end, the story is one of cold, calculated revenge. Betrayal caught, evidence exposed, legal and social consequences delivered, and a complete erasure from my life. Emily had crossed a line and she learned the harshest lesson possible. Cheating has consequences, and some actions cannot be forgiven or forgotten.